All right, what's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. Today is September 9th, and I'm actually not working. I was planning on working. One of my kids woke up sick, so I am parked today. My wife is doing my Dillard's route, and I'm gonna stay home with my son. So anyways, I decided this is a good time to do Real Talk Part 3. So this is a segment I started where I am documenting my journey. I know I said this a million times. I'm documenting my journey, and that's it. That's all I'm doing. I am not a mentor. I am not here to give you instruction as far as like, telling you, hey, buy a cargo van and do this to make money and all this and that. I'm not selling nothing. I am literally just documenting my journey. I'm vlogging my day, and I'm just taking you with me, and I'm sharing all my experiences. I'm telling you everything that I go through, everything that I'm doing, and it's food for thought. That's all it is. So I decided to do Real Talk because there's a lot of times where I need to share my experience and my thoughts, and I have a right to do that. My opinion about things is not going to line up with everyone. Everyone's not going to be the same. Everyone's journey is going to look different. Everyone has different standards. Everyone has different needs and wants, different priorities. There's so many variables to this that I will never line up perfectly with somebody else. So what I'm about to share with you is from my perspective, based on my financial situation, based on my market, based on everything I've done, everything I've researched, everything I learned. That's what this is about. So when I first was preparing for Real Talk Part 3, I literally could talk for 2 hours. There's so much information I wanted to share in this video, but I decided to keep it a little more brief. I summarized it just to give you kind of the gist of what I'm trying to say. I will elaborate more, but I'll probably do that on my Rumble page. The Rumble page is for people that's more interested in whatever topic I'm talking about. I'd like to go into detail on that page. So here I'm just going to give you kind of a summary of what this video is about, and leave it at that. Real Talk 3 is about false reality versus actual reality. There's a lot of people in this business that believe in a false reality, and then there's very few select people that understand the actual reality. And that's what I feel I show on my channel, is the actual reality, not the false reality. That's what my channel is about. So before I get into it, I just want to let you know that the way I look at my channel is I'm vlogging my day. So whether you're interested in this type of work or not, it doesn't really matter. I promote freedom. That's it. I don't promote you going out and getting a cargo van and doing exactly what I'm doing. That's not for everyone. I do promote freedom. I promote you, if you have something, a skill or something that you love to do, but you're working for a company, but you can actually do that yourself. That's what I promote. This is the land of opportunity. There's no excuse. Getting a business license is very easy. It's inexpensive. You can start your own business and work for yourself and build your own wealth. That's what I promote. This is the path I chose. I chose to do the cargo van thing. Your path might be something totally different, but you can relate because business is the same. It's the same no matter what you're doing. So my channel's a lot like if you always wanted to be, let's say you always want to be a fireman, right? A firefighter. And, it doesn't matter what job you have now. You could be working in corporate. You could be working at Walmart, Target. It doesn't matter. You always wanted to be a firefighter, but you've always heard that, it's kind of hard, and, you got a lot of medical certifications you got to pass and tests you got to pass, and you got to go through their training, and you heard it's really difficult, and you're scared. You're scared. And let's say you come across a YouTube channel and there's a guy that he's a young man, just graduated college, and he's like, what? I'm starting the firefighter training academy in about 2 weeks, and I'm gonna bring you guys with me. I'm gonna show you guys what it's like to go through the actual training. I'm gonna show you guys the tests that I have to take, all of the training I have to do, all of the medical certifications I have to pass, all of the physical fitness I have to do. I'm just gonna bring you with me all the way to graduation. If you're interested in being a firefighter, that is a great channel to watch, because you're going to get to see in real time this person going through what you want to go through. And you get to see it firsthand and hear all of his experiences. He's going to give you real life experience. So that person can share whatever they want. They can share a ton of information. They can share a little bit of info. But you cannot expect that person to, let's say they take a test and they say, hey, I took a test on, treating a gunshot wound or whatever, right? This is the test. This is the book that I studied. These are the chapters that the test was about. But you cannot expect that person to give you the answers. They studied, they learned what they needed to learn. They took the test and they provided you with all the information you need to pass the test. But you want them to give you the answers too. They don't have to do that. And you can't be mad if they don't do that. They can only help you so much. So anyways, I hope you get the point. That is what my channel is. I'm going to help you as much as I can. I'm not here for the money. I don't care about YouTube money. YouTube money is trash. And I'm just being honest. And I don't mean trash like I'm not grateful for the money I do get. But the amount of time and effort that I put into making these videos, this content, the pay does not add up. So I told you guys how much I usually make. And I'm going to ask you this. Is there any job that you would do, I don't care what it is, where you'll work 40 hours a week for $200 or $250 a week? What job would you do where you put in 40 hours of your time to make $200 to $250 a week? So that's what YouTube is. It's not for the money. This is for you. I want you to make it. I want you to have success, because this is the land of opportunity. And for me personally, it took a huge leap of faith for me to leave my 9-to-5, the comfort of my 9-to-5, especially with a family of 5 where I am the support, and to do this, where I have to rely 100% on myself to make the money I need. So I know this is not easy. Anybody that tells you this is easy is a liar. Don't listen to them. Run from them. Run from that channel. This is not easy. It's very hard. Mentally, physically, everything. Emotionally, it's hard. It's not easy. And I am not even close to where I want to be. And I've been at this for over 1.5 years, almost 2 years now. And I'm not even close to where I want to be. I am not comfortable where I'm at all. So anyways, I'm not going to get deep into that. I just want you to understand my channel. That's what this is about. So the main purpose of this video is to focus on the reality of what I'm doing and the false reality. So I'm speaking from my perspective as a local gig worker. That's what I specialize in. Carrier companies and direct bookings. That's what I do. So I'm speaking from that perspective. I'm not speaking from OTR perspective or owning contracts, all that. I'm speaking from my perspective of what I do. A lot of people are interested in working local gig work because it's very easy. It's easy. You see the channels out there, people making money, doing all that. I get it. So I just want to clear this up, because there's a lot of misunderstanding about the reality of what is going on here. So the first thing, the misconception, the false reality that I hear all the time is oversaturation. Everything is oversaturated, and that there's a lack of work and loads for you. And I'm talking about you specifically. I've always said this. I told you guys, you have to think for yourself. You have to think for yourself. You have to do for yourself. The moment that you start pointing your finger at someone else, you don't know how to run your business. The moment that you're blaming somebody else for your lack of work or whatever, you don't know how to run a business. You're already failing. You should never be worried about what somebody else is doing. You should never be worried about how many people are doing what you want to do. And I hope I can explain this right, but this is from my perspective in real time through my experience. I'm gonna just tell you reality. So that's the false reality. So the false reality is that you believe that your market is oversaturated. There's too many people, and you sign up for a gig app and you can't get on. You go straight to the waiting list. You can't get on. And immediately you're thinking, man, it's oversaturated. And then you start blaming all the content creators because we're telling everybody about all the apps and they're all getting filled up and it's way too many people. It's not enough orders, all this and that. I'm going to tell you right now, I do not care about how many people are on gig apps. I do not care about how many people have a cargo van and running a business in my city, in my state. I don't care about none of that. It does not matter. That has nothing to do with my business. And again, I'm speaking as a business owner. I started my own business because I wanted to run a actual business, not through a gig app. I'm talking about I have my own business. I create my own work. I create my own customers. That's the perspective I'm speaking from because that was my goal. That's what I want to do. So I just want to break this down as best I can. I'm going to try to keep this short. I'm going to try to break this down so you understand what I'm saying. So that's the false reality. And I can understand why people think like that because the cargo van business it's a small community. It's a small community. It may seem like it's big, but that's because all you watch is cargo van content. All you watch is box truck and trucking and all that. And you start to, it closes your mind and you start to think that, wow, it's so many people doing this. Like it's too many people. It's not enough work. And I could see how you feel like that. And I understand that, but that's not reality. Here's the reality. So I live in the state of Texas. And in the state of Texas, there are approximately, and there might be more than this now, since 2022, 30 million people that live in Texas, in my state. I live in San Antonio, Texas. And as of 2022, so San Antonio's booming. A lot of people are moving here. And it's not from doing this type of work. It's because just leaving high, expensive states and moving to a more affordable state. 1.5 to 2 million people live in my city alone. And that's as of 2022. It's probably more than that now. Out of the 2 million people that live in my city, I would say it is very safe to say that only about 20%, and this is just an estimate. I don't know if I'm right or wrong on this, but this is just based on my perspective from what I actually see. I'd say about 20% or less of the 2 million people are in some type of delivery service. And out of the delivery service that they're in, there's a percentage of them that work for a company. They're not an independent contractor. They do deliveries for a company, whatever that company is. I don't care if they're driving a big rig, a box truck, a cargo van. They're in some type of delivery service, but they work for a company. And then out of that percentage, out of the 20%, there's also a percentage of people that are in delivery and they are an independent contractor, but they don't have a cargo van. They, do Uber Eats, they do Grubhub, they do DoorDash, Favor, all these food catering apps. And then there's a percentage of people that do use apps like I use, but they don't have a cargo van. They have a car, they have a pickup truck, they may have a box truck, but they don't have a cargo van. And then there's a percentage of that 20%, it's getting smaller and smaller, of people that actually have a cargo van, just like mine. They have a cargo van and they're on all the apps that I'm on. And out of that percentage of people that actually have a cargo van in my market, there's a few of them that absolutely refuse to do certain orders. There's certain orders they won't go long distance, or they won't do any refrigerators, or they won't do any furniture, or whatever it is, or if the pay is less than $40, they don't touch it. There's people, I know people personally like that. I'm not moving my van for less than this. I've heard them say that out their own mouth. So for me, my reality, not the false reality, my reality is that the level of competition for me personally as a cargo van business owner operator is very, 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 very low. You might not believe that because you're comparing it to the gig apps. The gig apps can only provide you with this much work. There's only this much work that comes out on the gig apps. And that's all of them, because they're all connected to one rail. So you're seeing this much work come out that's available to a very small percentage of you. And there's this much work available in your city. So this is my reality. There are people, companies, as well as private citizens that need your help. They need deliveries every single day. Something is being delivered, whether people bought some furniture, whether people bought a washer, a dryer, a refrigerator, some lumber, some mulch, whatever. People are buying stuff that it needs to be delivered every single day. Your job as the owner of your business is I don't care about what this company's doing. I don't care about this cargo van owner operator, what he does to make a living. My job as the owner of Pittman Cargo Express, this vehicle that I purchased, I need to put something back here. I need to deliver something. How do you do that? That's the question. How do you get work? How do you get all of that, this amount of work that's available? How do you get some of this? So this is what I love about my journey is I learned that through my experience. I started with gig apps and I realized that it's not a lot of work here. There are some markets where you can get a full day's work every day, but it's very few. Majority of the markets, there's only a certain amount of work that comes out. And people get frustrated because, again, there's this much work that comes out on the gig app platform, and that's what you're relying on. You think that your city is oversaturated with too many drivers, too many cargo van owner operators, because you're looking at it because of this. You can't get a piece of this. When in reality, this is what's out there. This is out there for you. All you got to do is go get it. There are companies, and I've talked to them. I've literally talked to companies. I went in there and I presented my business and myself, and they say, absolutely, we can use your help. We have deliveries every day. There was a plumbing company that I went to, and I offer my services, but this is the difficulty that I have with that, is they want my time, and I don't want to give up my time. They want me on a schedule. They wanted me to do deliveries between like 6 a.m. and 2 p.m. And this is daily, like every day. They don't want me to pick and choose what days I want to work. They want you like on a contract. That is something I'm not willing to do, not right now. But this is how I know what I'm telling you is true. The work is out there. Everybody needs help. All these companies need help. And there's a lot of companies that are willing to work with you. I showed you on my channel. I did a furniture delivery with a company that was actively looking for an independent contractor, owner operator to do their deliveries. The work is out there. I've showed you guys that. I've proven it to myself. I've been to multiple businesses, and the only hump that I can't get over is they want my time, and I don't want to give up my time. That's the only issue I'm having. Other than that, I would have been had a contract. If I didn't care and I wanted to work a contract route, I've had multiple contracts. Many of them pay $400, even $500 a day. And I'm talking about local deliveries. 8-hour, 10-hour shift. So, like, this is my reality. I'm telling you this based on my actual experience. I literally talk to these people, to these companies. They're out here. Again, I want to do deliveries, right? I want to deliver the same stuff I'm delivering on Dolly and Dispatch and all these different apps. I want to do that for myself. I want to cut out the middleman. I don't want to split my money with the company. I want the customer to pay me directly. So what did I do? I started my own website and I started promoting my business. And I'm telling you right now, you're going to see an influx in work for me because I am focused on my business, not the gig apps. I'm focused on building my business. I am marketing my business and it's growing every day. Every week it's growing. I have regular customers and I have new customers coming every week. New customers learning about my business every week. And I'm tapping in to the people that need help, the people that need deliveries every single day. How many people are in San Antonio? About 2 million people live in San Antonio. Every single day, there's deliveries. If you're one-track minded and all you want to do is get on gig apps and run gig apps, that's what you got to deal with. Then yes, it's oversaturated. That's what you got to deal with. But if you eliminate that thought process and you start realizing the reality of what you're trying to do is that there is hundreds upon hundreds, if not thousands of deliveries that you could do every single day, and you realize that and you see it, what is this gig app and these drivers have to do with you and my business? What do they have to do with me? So what is oversaturated? What does that have to do with me and my business? What does it have to do with me doing deliveries? I mean, I'm just being honest. What does that have to do with me? Why does it matter? Here's the reality. This is the most important part. Everybody don't want to do this. And I can go door to door in my neighborhood. I can literally knock on everybody's door, and if I was able to, and ask them, would you like to start a cargo van delivery service business? And maybe 2 people, I'm guessing, maybe 2 people might be interested. The rest is going to slam the door in my face. No, I don't want to be in a hot sun doing deliveries. No, everybody's not interested in this. You guys watch YouTube and you're focused on that community, right? Because it's all of us are interested in this from all different states. But you're acting as if everybody wants to do this. I told you guys when I started my drop shipping business, which is very successful right now, but I will share more on that later. I told you guys I'm going to share this with everybody on YouTube, and less than 5% of you will actually be interested, and less than 2% will actually try it. And I was right, 100% right. I put my link in the description to sign up, and I counted 2 people that actually signed up, that gave it a shot. Out of the thousands and thousands of people that watched that video, 2 people were actually interested enough to try it. That's reality. That's reality. So if you're thinking, oh, why are you telling people about this? It's oversaturated, this and that. Don't nobody want to do that. Nobody's interested. Everybody doesn't want to do this right here. In my city right now, if I take a survey in San Antonio and ask every resident, do they want to quit their job and buy a cargo van and do deliveries, where they have to physically load all that? 90% of them, if not more, is going to say, heck no, I'm not interested. I don't want to do it. That's reality. So you can't get mad at the content creator. You can't get mad at because you signed up for a gig app and you can't get on because there's a waiting list. They hire people based on the amount of work. That's what it's based on. So if there's already not a lot of work, they're going to oversaturate the market with plenty of drivers. And if you can't get on, who cares? You still have a cargo van. There's still deliveries this many deliveries out there for you to do. There's nothing but excuses. That's all I hear is excuses. That's why I say you don't know how to run a business. I'm going to end with this. So I told you guys that the owner of Hobby Lobby, before my mom passed away, she gave me a book to read. It's about the owner of Hobby Lobby. He started in his garage. Look where he's at now. I told you guys I read an article about the owners of Dave's Hot Chicken. They started in LA with a street cart. That's where they started. 2 or 3 guys. This is what I do. I research and I study owners, successful business owners, and I look at where they started. I look at everything that they went through. And I have to say, every last one of them all have this in common. They don't care about the negative stuff. They don't care about everything that people are afraid of. They're not afraid of it. So I just watched a video about the owner of Raising Cane's. His name is, the CEO is Todd Graves. Very interesting story. I'm not going to give you the whole thing, but basically in a nutshell, he came up with this recipe for chicken tenders. And he believed in himself. He was like, man, this is fire. This is fire. And it starts up here. If you can't visualize yourself being successful, then you're not. He saw the success. He knew if he could get this going, it's going to be a hit. And if I'm not mistaken, I'm trying to remember off the top of my head, so I might get this a little wrong, but he was in school. It might have been culinary school or something. I don't know. He was in college. And he presented his idea. He had a project where it was like a business project where you present a new business or something like that. So he had a business plan for this chicken strip place. They sell chicken strips. And he presented it to his professor. And the professor gave him a bad grade. Basically like, this ain't gonna work. It's too basic. Really, just chicken strips, that's it? You can't make it out there. Like, there's no market for that. I mean, you're competing with all the other chicken strip places, Chick-fil-A and all these popular places. You're just going to sell chicken strips? Like, that's not going to work, sir. Like, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but your dream, it's not going to work. He could have gave up. He could have said, you know what? He's right. I can't. I ain't gonna make it. That's too difficult. Like, who's just gonna who builds a restaurant that just sells chicken strips? That's it. Like, these chicken strips will have to be better than any chicken strips in the world. But he knew in his heart, he knew that it was gonna be a hit. He did not care about the competition. He did not care about all of the negativity that he received from people of expertise. Were telling him it's not gonna work. You're not going to be successful at this. That's what he was told. And they warned him about the competition. He's like, look who you're competing against. You're not going to make it, sir. You're not going to make it. Again, I'm not going to go over the whole story. Long story short is he actually got a job. I believe he worked as a fisherman. The people that go out in the sea for like 6 months at a time, they make a lot of money. They make a ton of money. He did not have the money to fund his business. So he worked, I don't remember how many years, but he worked as one of those guys that do the catch fish out in the middle of the sea. He did that for a long time. He saved his money. He was saving his money all that time, saving. Until finally he had enough money. He presented his business to banks. Banks were like, we don't want no part of that. We don't want no part of that. So he literally had to save all his money. And long story short, he ended up buying his first restaurant. He fixed it up himself. He didn't have the money to hire somebody to, he bought an old beat down building. He renovated himself, him and one of his buddies. And I think he got the name Raising Cane's from his dog. He had a dog That I think the dog's name was Kane or something like that. That's where he got the name from. But anyways, long story short, y'all know it's history from there. He opened that first restaurant, and the rest is history. He could have gave up. He could have made all kind of excuses. He could have complained about all the competition and all, but it's like nobody could beat this. When you have success in your head and you can visualize and see yourself doing it, who can beat you? Nobody but yourself. He continued at it. It took years, but look where he's at now. Look where he's at now. That's the people I follow. Because I'm gonna give you another example. When I first started looking into the cargo van business, you know who made me jealous? Y'all already know who made me jealous. Yes, Cars and Cribs. He's the one that put me on to gig apps. I did not know anything about gig apps until I saw his channel. I knew about cargo vans. I was watching channels, but when I came across his channel, I was jealous. I ain't gonna lie. I was jealous. I'm saying, here's a young brother. He went and bought him a Mercedes Sprinter van. I'm like, that's like a $60,000, $70,000 van. Like, I can't afford that. Brand new. He happy, running around just singing and rapping and like just enjoying life and working 3-4 hours a day. And he was pumping me up. And I'm just like, man, like it's a app on his phone. Like you literally could just make 50, 60 bucks dropping that off. That's it. And I ain't gonna lie, I was a little jealous. I was jealous. And jealousy is a natural, that's natural in us. We all get jealous of each other. But I turned that jealousy into motivation because I put it up here. I said, if this young brother can do what he's doing, I can too. What's stopping me from doing exactly what he's doing? That's what I put in my head. I read comments. I saw people saying all the nonsense. It's oversat. I saw all that. Man, I ain't worried about that. I'm never worried about somebody else. That's when you defeat yourself. I ain't worried about nobody else. I am worried about my business. My business. What am I going to do to build my business? What am I going to do to make money? What am I going to do to get customers? That's all that matters. The work is out here. It's out here. Everybody needs help. I proved that to you guys. Everybody needs help. They just need to know about you. So all these excuses and oversaturation, I'm sick of it. I'm tired of hearing it. I'm tired of people that talk about it. Who cares? If you can't get on the gig app, guess what? You can still make money. You're just going to have to work a little harder. Gig apps is easy. That's the easy way into this. But that cannot sustain you. You need to build your own business. You need to have sustainable work. So, again, like I said, I was jealous. I ain't gonna lie, I was jealous, but I put it in my head. I said, I ain't about to do that. I did my research. It took me a whole year. I did a year of research. And when I was ready to pull the trigger, hey, ain't nobody stopping me. I'm about to make it. I'm gonna make this work. I'm about to make this work. This is what I want to do. I love doing deliveries. I love working with customers and people, driving through the city, and then to be on my time and my schedule and have my freedom and be there for my kids and all that. This is going to give me the opportunity to do that and make double, if not triple, the money I was making before. Who going to stop me? And nobody going to stop me but me. That's it. The moment I discourage myself, I listen to negative people in comments that don't know what they talking about. The moment I let them influence me, you beat yourself. So this is why I do this video. I just want you to know through my experience in real life, I'm telling you right now, there's a market for you. You can be successful at this business. It has nothing to do with saturation, oversaturation. Nothing to do with it. It has nothing to do with that other cargo van owner operator. There is a market for you. It's just like, gas, right? We all need gas, right? We all drive cars. I don't know how long that's going to be because they're trying to do electric cars, but y'all get my point. We all need cars, right? We all need clothes. Nobody walks around butt naked. We need clothes. That is a necessity of life. So If I say, hey, I'm about to open up a gas station, a lot of people will be like, why would you open a gas station? Like, there's plenty of gas stations, but what gas station do you know that opened and there's no customers? Everybody need gas. I've literally been on street corners where there's a gas station on every corner. 1, 2, 3, 4. Four different gas stations on the same corner. All different name brands. All 4 of them are successful. Why? Because there's a market for them. Everybody needs gas. That's the reality. Everybody needs clothes. There's certain things that people need. People need your help. Everybody doesn't have a cargo van. Everybody doesn't have a pickup truck. Everybody doesn't want to pick up their own stuff. Everybody doesn't want to pay $150, to have their washer and dryer delivered when they know a guy that'll do it for $75. I'm telling you guys, I don't want to beat a dead horse, man. I hope y'all get the point. But this is my reality. This is real talk from my experience, and you're going to see. I'm going to prove it to you. I'm doing it right now. I'm going to prove it to you. There's a market for me out here. There's a market for me. There's plenty of work out here for me. You just got to go get it. Everybody wants everything handed to them. I wasn't going to say nothing on this, but I have to because I watched the video. Yes, I promise I'm going to end with this one. I watched the video yesterday of Mark the Mentor. Mark the Mentor specializes in box truck business. And he has like this call-in show where people that have a problem with him or complain about him or whatever, they think he's not telling the right information or whatever, they can call in and he'll go, face to face with them. He'll put them on the screen and they can share their grievance. And I haven't watched a lot of his videos, but that one, I actually watched the whole video. And I'm not going to call out the person that had a grievance with him. But I will say that Mark is very patient. I think he handled that situation very well. Some of you guys might be familiar with the video I'm talking about. But anyways, I'm not going to get into the details of what that video was about. But the point that I want to make that kind of was, it was kind of, highlighted in that video was, one, the excuses that people make. And 2 is that they want everything just handed to them. I just want to make X amount of money. Just give it to me. Not knowing that there's a path that you have to take to get there. You can't just come into this and just instantly make $10,000 a month or just instantly make, over $100,000 a year. Like, maybe there's some people that had that success. I don't know anyone like that, but there's a path that you have to take to get there. Nobody wants to take that path. Nobody wants to work to get there. They just want to skip from beginning all the way to successful, to just CEO, $150,000, $200,000 a year. That's not how it works. And, I appreciate Mark the Mentor because he gives you the recipe to get there, to get to where he's at. And I think he does it in a great way. And some people they just don't understand that. They just want instant gratification, instant success. Nobody understands how it takes, the journey, the actual journey, what it actually looks like. And that's why I like what I'm doing, because I'm showing you my actual journey. Some of you guys have been with me since day one, since the very first video, and I appreciate you guys. But I know for a fact that you've seen the steps that I've taken. You've seen the actual journey that I'm taking. You've seen all my ups and downs. I have a video where I was ready to quit. I ain't gonna lie. I was literally thinking about quitting. It was getting rough out there. And I was thinking about it. And I did a video on it. I'm not gonna hide that from you. I literally hit a wall. And I was ready, I'm like, you know what? I don't want to do this. It's, when you go a whole week with no work or barely making any money, you start second guessing yourself. I'm so glad I was able to share that experience with you guys. Because everybody hits one. You're going to hit a wall. You're going to hit multiple walls. But I was determined. I'm like, you know what? We're going to get past this. We're going to get past this. This is a test. You got to get past it. But I'm not looking for instant success. You know, this is a journey. A journey, it takes time to get to where you want to go. The point is, I just want you guys to understand reality. Don't believe the false reality. Just know that it starts right here. The moment that you can see yourself doing what you want to do, whatever it is, you can visualize it, you can see it, you can see the customers, you can see the loads that you're getting, the business. It's got to start up here. And you do your market research. You figure out exactly what you want to do, what you're willing to do, what you're not willing to do. Understand everything about the business, how to run it, how to operate it, how to keep it afloat, how much money you need to make, all that stuff. And then get to work. As simple as that. Get to work. Some people don't want to work. You got to get to work. So, all right, man. This video long enough. I hope you guys understand what I was trying to say, but I'm only here to help. I'm just vlogging my day. I'm showing you my journey. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. So if you're mad about whatever I do or whatever I say, tough. Hey, I'm not changing for nobody. So anyways, hope y'all enjoyed, and I will catch y'all on the next one.